Hi there, it's Callum here from CallumElson.com, and this is a very quickly put together video to get beyond the marketing fluff and give you the 5 points you need to know about the updates to Virgin Atlantic's Flying Club. You might have seen my previous video about 18 months ago where I methodically went through all the benefits of Virgin Flying Club that will now be horrifically out of date, and I will update it in the next couple of months. But after today's announcement, or whenever you're watching this, might be a while ago, I'm here to give you updates on exactly what has happened and how it will impact you. So here's the top 5 things you need to know. Number 1, the biggest change that's come around is that rather than making a set number of seats available for redemption with Virgin points, they will now make any seat that is available on sale with cash available with points. Now, at the surface that looks great. However, there is a twist with this. It won't be based on an award chart where often if your last minute purchase you might get outsized value. It will be based on a variable pricing. This is very similar to what a lot of US airline programs do, notably their partial owner Delta with their Sky Miles, or lovingly called Sky Pesos program, often do. And it does mean that you're going to see a lot of prices increasing, especially in peak periods. Now, they do try to cover this up with point 2 and talk a lot about saver cabin pricing or saver reward seats. Now, this sounds good on the surface. So the example they give in their press release and what every travel website spouts out is that, oh yeah, they'll have lower pricing available of 6,000 Virgin points plus taxes from London to New York instead of the current 10,000 points. Now, one thing they don't make clear, firstly, this is probably economy they're talking about, just to be clear. They don't say saver reward seats will also be available in premium economy and upper class, which is clearly where most of us would want to get them seats, and if they're in a less busy time, you're probably going to be able to get a cheap cash seat anyway. And secondly, there is going to be no guarantee on the number of seats. They're getting rid of the 12-seat guarantee they used to have because you can get any seat you want. Now, this is not good because while yes, you could get a seat for 6k, you're not guaranteed to have that on every flight. So if you want to fly in peak season, maybe springtime to New York, or in the middle of summer when perhaps flights are busier, we just don't know if they're going to actually have these saver reward seats available. Likely, if you're going in the middle of January or February when travel is down, then yeah, you're probably going to get one of them seats at a lower price. And that's the biggest issue with this type of pricing and the ambiguity they've done, guarantee on the number of seats available. As I said, this is unscripted and I'm very much just trying to get the news out there as quickly as possible. Point number 3 is they're upgrading any points. Number 3, you can upgrade to premium or upper class with points regardless of the seat you purchased, whether that's with points or cash, and it does include saver reward seats. So effectively you buy your seat, whether that's with points or cash, and then if you decide later down the line I want to upgrade to premium or upper class, you can do that. Again, firstly, there's no set amount, so it's probably going to be based on the difference between the price you've paid and the variable premium or upper class pricing. And secondly, you're just not going to get the same outsized value that you used to get because of this move to variable pricing. So on the surface sounds great marketing speak. It's just not very interesting, frankly. Number 4, small point, earn more points in premium and upper class. So yep, sounds great. They give a figure. I don't remember off the top of my head. Now, the thing that isn't very clear is how they're going to award those points. Now, one would assume that they're going to stick with the current system, which I think is based on miles flown, distance-based charts. However, I wouldn't be surprised seeing the other changes if they followed BA's lead or Finnair's lead with awarding Virgin points per pound in the way that they do for Avios. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Frankly, most people don't earn most of their points, especially in the US, by flying. Most of them earn them on credit cards and reward cards. And 5, the biggest change I can see beyond the initial of that variable pricing is to the vouchers. Now, Virgin had quite a complicated upgrade voucher scheme, or whatever you wanted to call it, from the get-go. Not as simple as the 2-for-1 that British Airways have with their Amex, and they've just made it even more complicated. So I actually had to make an example and put it together. So I got the example of London Heathrow to San Francisco around August next year, peak pricing. We've got a price of 25k in economy points, not plus taxes, 37.5 for premium, 77.5k for upper. So, and effectively the way this works is that for a red member, your upgrade voucher covers up to 75,000 points on the upgrade. Now, what does this mean? So in the example of somebody on London Heathrow to San Francisco with this peak pricing, and we don't know exactly what the difference in pricing will be once it goes to this variable system. So the way this will work is effectively if you're upgrading from premium economy to upper class, which is what most people would do, and this is based on the current pricing, you would effectively have to find a difference between the two. So 77.5k minus 37.5k, which is 40,000, times that by 2 if you're doing a return. And then your voucher, if you're a red member, would be worth up to 75,000, of them 80,000, and then you would have to pay the differential between the 75,000 and the 80,000. So you'd pay the voucher for the upgrade, the voucher plus the extra 5,000 points, and then any difference in taxes and fees. All a bit complicated. If you're a silver or gold flying club member, your voucher is worth 150,000 points. So in that case, if you was upgrading, you wouldn't pay any of that 5,000 extra Virgin points. To be honest, it doesn't sound, based on this example, sounds okay. But if we get to the point similar to Delta and their Sky Miles program where you get silly amounts of points for a flight, then yeah, your voucher is not going to be worth much very quickly. So it's still all very up in the air, excuse the pun, with this new change. I think it's okay. I think, oops, my light is back on. All programs are going towards this way, and ultimately, as people say, as some other YouTubers say, it's the airline's program and not yours, so they are free to do as what they want to change with it. The biggest issue is it is going to reduce the value of Virgin Red and Virgin Points very quickly as the prices start to go up. This is what has happened in the US. Effectively, if you try to redeem points on their own airline of the member program you are part of, so mileage plan for Alaska, American for American, etc., the only real value you get is when booking award seats with partner programs. So look at the example of Alaska. The biggest value with them is effectively booking for partners, and I think what we're going to see is flying club miles will be very useful for access to SkyTeam partners and also their other non-SkyTeam partners such as ANA. The best value for your buck for your Virgin points. We'll see if there's going to be an impact on the tables, the redemption tables for SkyTeam members and partners. At the moment, doesn't look like there's going to be, but you never know. And like I said, let's see what happens with ANA, because I really hope that that isn't impacted. I think this sort of goes to a wider problem with the Virgin Flying Club, is that if we go towards variable miles where you could justify using the miles to save a bit of money on your redemption, if prices start to go ludicrously sky high and you're paying very high amounts of the taxes and co-pay, what's the real value of using points? I'm yet to answer that. I think that we'll see how the scheme develops if prices start to go sky high. It feels like we're starting to get to a point where there's less and less value in these airline programs. And I think with wider Virgin Atlantic, for me personally, and I struggle to see the relevance of the airline outside of the US market. They can't compete with BA on an American and a transatlantic joint venture of Oneworld. even with Delta and Air France, KLM and SAS in the future, simply because they don't have the scope, they don't have the scale in the same way that American and the others with BA do. And then personally, I don't really want to do that much travel outside to the US. I want to go elsewhere in the world, and really their approach outside the US is very much scattergun. I don't think, and this could be leveled at a number of airlines, Cathay being another one, I don't think many people really want to go to Riyadh. I suspect there's some amount of encouragement from the Saudi government, and I won't say much more about that. But I think the final thing is, what's really that special about Virgin Atlantic anymore? Apart from maybe their Virgin branding, what do they really offer? That they're an established player in the market now. They're not this plucky little upstart that they were 40 years ago on this 40th anniversary. And it makes you think, why should I choose them over another airline where I could possibly get better status benefits, where I could get better voucher bang for my buck, more choice of partners, better IT. I mean, BA isn't great, their IT, but sure, it's somehow better than Virgin's. And that's it. That's my thoughts on these initial points. What did you think of the announcement? Like I said, it's still very light on details. These press releases don't really give you much detail. The customer emails don't give you much detail. We'll find out more on the 30th of October, I believe, Halloween, around that time. We'll find out the impact for customers. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is collate some examples of peak and off-peak pricing for a number of Virgin routes before that date, and then compare what happens after, and then create a new intro to Flying Club Virgin video, which is updated for the new reward program sometime towards the back end of the year, to see how these changes settle in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, even if it was slightly messy, please do comment, like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you hear more about my travels and also my insights on things such as the Virgin Flying Club. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.